Now, value itself has certain components. Okay. There are three types of value. First is called existential value. Okay. Existential value comes from your existence. That is, you derive value from simple day-to-day experiences like comfort, convenience, perhaps even go to softer terms like social image, safety, security, etc. These are all components of, I'm not going to go deeper into this, but this is where you get existential value. You know, entertainment, for example. Please note the existential value through films is very high. That is why the film industry is thriving overall. I'm not saying every film succeeds, but overall as an industry, it's a thriving industry. The evidence is there in front of you, but as an industry, it is thriving. Because people derive huge value from entertainment. In fact, perhaps there are people who feel liberated by watching films. Okay? So that is also, but that's an illusion, but that's the way it is. Then you have what is known as functional value. Functional value comes from the products or the services that you get. Each product is capable of giving you value, which connects with the existential value. For example, if you have a pen, it enables you to write, pen down your thoughts, place them on record, so it gives you certain comfort in thought, etc. Okay. The last one is very important because you are talking of substantive value. Okay. Substantive value is through the basic objectives. First objective of any human being is he or she wants to survive. You say, first let me survive, then I'll talk about everything else. Because if I die, I don't know what state of consciousness I am in. I don't know anything. I can only speculate at best. Then you want stable survival. Then you want strong, stable survival. Then you want successful, strong, stable survival. And sometimes human beings also want to have superior, successful, strong, stable survival. That's the game of life we play. So value is derived from that also. So you give value to others in terms of how they can, for example, become strong or become successful and so on. So that's where the game of entrepreneurship is played. Now you also have to understand very quickly that there are two types of entrepreneurship. Business entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. Okay? The critical difference between the two is that in business entrepreneurship, you have a seller, you have a buyer, and the buyer buys value from the seller. Buyer pulls value from the seller and gives money back. Ordinary, most primitive transaction. Now this is a business transaction. Very important condition is a quid pro quo condition. That means the transaction will not be happening if the money is not paid. And today, sometimes it's very funny, we have money paid, but the value not coming, which is dishonest business. Okay? Or vice versa. The value given, money not paid. Okay? So, we have all types in India also. I'm concentrating on India or Bharat. We have that also happening. But essential transaction is this. There is value transferred from the seller to the buyer because the buyer pulls value and the seller is willing to give that value and the money goes. Social entrepreneurship child is a transaction. I mean, fundamentally it's a transaction. But there's no quid pro quo. The mother doesn't tell the child, only if you love me so many units, I will show you so much of love. It can be the affection between two friends, the transaction. It's a social transaction. The beauty is, in social entrepreneurship, this goes beyond friendship and, shall I say, love, which are very exalted human experiences. It goes into a different territory. For example, you have a very interesting case of social entrepreneurship. Take the case of Aravind Eye Hospital, a very celebrated hospital, okay, started by Dr. Venkataswamy, who is no more. Now, they give the value of good eyesight to people in such a model that they can give it for free to people who really need it. Okay? So like this, there are many things that happen in social entrepreneurship. And there are various types of enterprises by which this value is transferred. There are social entrepreneurs who give value to people to help them survive by giving them some confidence. And there are a whole range of social enterprises, from pure donation-based to actually profit-seeking enterprises. So you have a whole variety. So you've got the quick difference between business enterprise and social enterprise. Now connect, why is India not competing if our understanding of entrepreneurship is reasonably good. We are not competing because we are not able to offer competitive value in the global markets. This is the reason. And today's global markets, whether one likes it or not, are dominated by technological products. This is a fact. We can check it out, actually. Okay? We can just check out all the economic data to see how much of transaction has happened on various technologies compared to agricultural products, and the truth will dawn on you. Okay? So this is very important. That means you are dealing with a competitor who is able to give you technological value that sometimes you can't even dream of. Okay? Let me give you an example. Let me take sophisticated medical diagnostic equipment, all these MRI scans or something. You may ask the question, where does India stand in terms of this technology? And you should be able to guess the answer very easily. Okay. We are nowhere near some of the other countries. For example, if you take Germany, they have a big company called Siemens, which gets into this technology. I can go on giving you these examples. So when you look at this value, obviously, we don't stand a chance. Now when you go on expanding these technologies into other domains, whether it's entertainment or even sports or hard tech like science and tech, the kind of instruments, the devices that are needed for very deep R&D and so on, you will find that India stands very low. We are a net consumer of this value rather than a producer of this value. This is where the story is. Therefore, our ability to compete in global markets holistically is not strong. I also want to quickly point out that at a point in time, we felt that we are the software capital in the world. I want to share with you a point which the late Professor C.K. Prahlad had observed many years ago. Even at the peak of India's software engagement with the rest of the world, it all started with the Y2K problem. Many of you may recall this. That's when India started rising in terms of the software and software expertise. Even when we were doing or claiming that we were doing very well, our share in global software trade was less than 2%. Shame on us. If we feel we are a global superpower in software with less than 2% occupation in that trade, what are we talking? This is clear delusion. Absolute delusion. So please understand these home truths. So one of the lessons I want to share with you about the story of entrepreneurship, value transfer, and human resource development for entrepreneurship and innovation is this. When you are getting educated, and by the way, I'll also pose a caveat before I come to the last part of what I want to share with you. Unless young people like you are serious students, very serious, who are liberated from your teachers, whether they are good or bad, that you are a student of a body of knowledge and the teacher is a facilitator, unless you take that stance, unless you study what you study with great dedication and passion, that you want to learn, you're consumed by the thought of learning, unless your mind is oriented towards mastery of the body of knowledge that you're gaining. I'm talking of mastery. I'm not talking of anything less than that. Okay? And mastery does not mean possessing a master's degree. Many of us possess master's degree. Honestly, we know how much of a master we are in that area. Okay? Unless you truly become a master of what you're learning, your ability to compete will be suspect. Please understand this.